A year after the dark dawn of October 7th, we filmed in Berlin. 2 years later, in New York. There we heard a new date of sorrow for the Jewish world, October 8th. On October 8th, 2023, the day after the bloody terrorist attack, while Jewish people everywhere mourned the thousands of murdered Israelis, young people, families, children, even infants, and prayed for the hundreds of innocent hostages dragged into Gaza's tunnels, the world chose to look away. It chose to ignore a second Holocaust. Neither in Europe nor in America were flags lowered. No sirens of mourning filled the air. No marches condemned the terror. No moments of silence honored the dead. Instead, the streets of the world's great capitals echoed with a different shout: Free Gaza. And the loudest voices came from those once called the conscience and intellect of the West, the students of its most prestigious universities, Harvard, Yale, Columbia, NYU. A generation shaped by programs lavishly funded by Arab regimes, taught to see lies as justice, hatred as virtue, believing they were fighting Zionism. But in truth, their battle turned against the very West they came from, against freedom, against democracy, against the open spirit that once defined it. October 7th is no longer just a date. It is the day terror struck the innocent, a scar on humanity, a moment when the world looked away, letting darkness speak louder than our moral voice.
Since October 7th, those of us who teach Jewish studies at universities, particularly at elite universities, have had to face challenges we have never faced before and we are not trained to face, about thinking how you deal with university governance, of how you deal with student protest, of how you deal with students being excluded.
A lot of friends who are writers and artists and New York intellectuals. This is my environment. Or I should say, this was my environment before October 7th. I actually left most of the scholarly associations I used to be part of, and I published open letters. I circulate an open letter here at this university, soon after October 7th, because prior to that moment, whenever we had Black Lives Matter or Me Too, or you have any kind of cause that unites, the right-thinking people, right? University would issue statements and of support, and all of a sudden, really horrific thing happens, right? On October 7th, and there is total silence. I severed a lot of professional friendships, a lot, and this continues. A lot of people from Ireland are not my friends anymore. A lot of people from the United Kingdom, wonderful, lovely people, are not my friends anymore, because I just couldn't accept this. I couldn't accept this kind of blindness and hypocrisy.
There was certainly time when I felt completely alone. When all of this was happening, when all this glory to our martyrs, they call it, events were happening on the medical campus, I felt compelled to go there. I don't know why and how, and I understood that it was dangerous, but I felt very compelled to go there and document everything that was happening, because I have seen what's happening even with the Holocaust, how deniers of Holocaust deny things that happen. So I felt very compelled to document that. At that time, I actually, as I mentioned, I wasn't religious, I wasn't even, anything. But first thing I did, I actually put my father's Magen David on my chest, and I never took off that Magen David since then. And I went there to this sea of anti-Semites, all covered by pro-Hamas paraphernalia, and I was the only clearly Jewish person there. They pushed me, they were trying to prevent me from recording. It was very scary, they threatened me, and I was the only one there who was recording it. That happened over and over again.
Bye, Nazis!
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
I'm a Nazi?
Yeah, you're all Nazis.
20 years ago, we made a film called Columbia Unbecoming that interviewed Jewish students on Columbia's campus, and these were eloquent, brave Jewish students who would who explained how their professors were harassing and intimidating Jewish students on campus. And we said, this is going to be, if we don't solve this now, it's going to grow into a cancer. Well, now it's not just the professors who are now paid for by Qatar through this new ideology called intersectionality. They have now made the Jews adjacent white oppressors. That's who we became from the left. The Jewish community failed. The Jewish leadership failed. They didn't want to fight. We'll get into that in a second.
Our project, Am Yisrael Chai, began as a 40-minute documentary. But after 2 expeditions across Europe and North America, we realized that our mission runs far deeper. Today, Jews around the world are once again in danger. The world has not changed. A new wave of antisemitism has swept across nations, a silent tsunami reaching even the most progressive corners of the West. Once again, Jewish communities find themselves unsafe. Our mission is to sound the alarm and to keep going. That means more journeys, more testimonies, and more truth to reveal. What began as a small-scale documentary has grown into a long-form series, many seasons, many stories, one purpose. Above all, it is what Jews everywhere need most today, the truth.